Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Prison Architect. I certainly hope you're having a good one because I'm excited. I am excited to be back. I am excited to be jumping into a series on Prison Architect going green. This, of course, is going to be part one of a new Prison Architect Let's Play series, and there are a bunch of things that I'm keen to jump into with this new DLC. Now, if you're curious about my first impressions on Prison Architect going green, there is a video on the channel that I will try to remember to link in the description and in the comments, and I'll try to remember to put on the screen as well, but if it's not there, it is on the channel about a week before this video came out, maybe a little bit more than that. But without any further ado, given that there are a few things we gotta set up first, let's create a new prison. And we're gonna start by picking the warden, because there's two new ones that I didn't cover in my video. You've got the botanist and you've got the ecologist, and they both do interesting things. So first things first, the botanist will increase the export price of each crop, will increase the chance for crops to drop seeds, and will also extend the wilting and spoiling time for growing crops and harvested ingredients. That's pretty useful when we start getting the fields up and going. But the ecologist will increase the power output of all green energy sources and will double the value of exported energy and recycling. And when I first read that, I thought, that sounds really good early game. Because if you start the game with some solar panels, you get extra power, which you can export for a bit of extra sort of passive income. But then I tested it, and it turns out I totally forgot that you get a power station, a power generator for free at the start of any Prison Architect save. You don't get a free set of solar panels. So you would have to spend $2,000 on your solar panels. So with that in mind, I'm thinking that we're probably gonna go for the botanist. I think that's probably gonna be for the best. In terms of guard dogs, we're gonna go for the cat, because of course we are. And in terms of everything else, I'm going to go for a medium prison. That seems like a good start. We're going to keep Fog of War on. We're going to turn off, let's see here, failure conditions and criminally insane inmates, because I don't want either. Criminally insane inmates can be turned on later on, though. That is something we can turn on from within the game. So, you know, if that's something we end up wanting to deal with, we can. Just right away, I want nothing to do with it, because it means I need to build a completely separate section of the prison, which that's not the focus of this series, at least not right now. Prisoner transports, I'm also going to turn off, or transfers, because as far as I see it, they're in jail, and they're in jail, right? They're in my world, is how I see it, right? I'm a big fan of rehabilitation when it comes to prisons in real life. I think a focus in rehabilitation over punishment is so important. But for the sake of gameplay, no, we're not about that. So prison transfers are going to be turned off, and we are going to have staff needs. So my staff are going to need good staff rooms, and they're going to need to eat and all of that good stuff. I think that's quite important. I think that's a fun bit of gameplay. In terms of mutators, we're not going to do too much here. We are going to do reduced dirt buildup just because I want to, honestly. It's just something I like. I like the prison to look clean. I like it to be aesthetically pleasing and whatnot. We're also going to do short sentences, which on one hand is going to mean that we get more prisoners more often, therefore more money. But it's also going to mean that prisoners are leaving more often, so therefore we're going to have to regularly be educating them to work in the fields and work in workshops and things like that. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's a bit more money, but it's going to be an interesting gameplay loop, I think. And as well as that, we're going to do wild growth, which, if you know me, you know what it means. It means that trees are going to grow like crazy, which is an easy source of income, but I'm going to try and not use it as a crutch. I'm going to try my best to not go crazy cutting down trees for money, because it's a little too cheesy, it's a little too easy, and I want to see if we can really focus on being self-sufficient through growing crops and exporting them and things like that, rather than just being like, hey, we need some money, let's go get some trees. So that's pretty much the setup we're going to go for. And we're actually going to go for a large map. instead of a medium one, and we're going to begin. Large map simply because, quite frankly, I want to do a couple of things. First things first, I want to plan the prison that we're going to be building sort of in an ideal world at some point. So, well, actually, you know what? No, we're not going to plan the ideal prison. We're going to do something else to start with. I want to go to rooms, and I want to clear those out of here. And I want deliveries to be coming in pretty much, I'm going to say down towards, you know what, we're going to say up here. We're going to say deliveries can come in up here, and it's going to be a nice big chunky space that is, let's just do a 10 by 10 for deliveries. We're going to have garbage be pretty much the same thing. It's going to be 10 by 10 as well. So it's going to live right there. And we're going to do exports, which is going to be a 10 by 10 as well. We're just going to keep them up there, sort of out of the way. And that'll keep those, you know, nicely out of the way, which is kind of important. So I mentioned I was going to build the ideal prison, or plan the ideal prison. I think what would make more sense is to get some tasks and some grants out of the way. So the CEO's letter, I don't care about. We're not going to read that. In terms of grants, though, we have got some new grants that come with the Going Green DLC. Eco-friendly, for example, is use only green power sources to power your prison instead of power stations for 5 days. That's good, but not something we're going to do right now. What we're going to do is go for basic detention center, and we're going to go for administration center. Basic detention center gave us 20 grand up front. Administration gave us 5 up front. So we now have $55,000 to play with. And all we need to do is build a holding cell, shower, yard, kitchen, and canteen, hire 2 guards, and hire 2 cooks to get 10,000. And then if we build 2 offices, hire a warden, get finance, and hire an accountant, we get 5,000. So I'm basically going to try and do that. We're going to try and build a relatively simple prison with a holding cell, shower, yard, kitchen, canteen, 2 guards, and 2 cooks to get a bit of little bit of money there. So doing that plain and simple, I think what we do is we do something like this, and we do something like this, and we have sort of a little yard that kind of comes around here. So that's going to come back this way and go there. 1, 2, 3, 4 there. And essentially, we're going to have prisoners come in through there. In fact, let's do this so the entranceway is kind of enclosed a little bit there. We're going to have them come in, and we're going to have them go into a building here. And I think that'll be a pretty good idea. So deliveries and all that, you know, it's right next to deliveries. But this can be like a reception space with a nice door there. I think what we can then go ahead and do is work on offices. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I think if I actually just do a 6 by 6 square, so that, and then that can be our 2 offices with a little corridor just sort of beside them. So entranceway, reception, offices, that'll be those out of the way kind of nicely. And then, you know what we can actually go ahead and do? We can kind of let these guys come in a little bit, and we can actually look at intake and say closed, and eventually just fill the capacity. That way, you know, if we have space for people, we'll bring them in and it'll be fine. So that's going to be our 2 offices. We're going to need showers. We're going to need holding cells. We're going to need all of that good stuff. This right here is 8, so the midpoint is there. So let's go ahead and do another sort of chunky corridor. So 8 there, 8 there. And I reckon this can probably be a holding cell or maybe some showers. It can be either, really, to be totally honest. I think what we'll do is have that be the holding cell just for simplicity's sake. And this right here can just be some showers. We'll do an entrance up there, an entrance down there, and the holding cell entrance can be there. So holding cell, shower. Then kitchen and canteen can probably be across the whole, which isn't going to necessarily need to be huge. So that's fine. So kitchen, or sorry, canteen, kitchen. And then the yard can just be out here. So let's go, let's see. If we have our midpoint, say, let's use pathways to measure this out. So let's go like this. That is 12. I think 12 is probably good. So if we go 6 there, and we do 2, and we go 6 here, that means this should be, I think, 6 as well, and this should be 6 as well. And then, essentially, we just connect the corners, and it's just going to be a tiny, tiny little yard that they can sort of run around and do their thing in. By the way, I know the numbers on these measurements are really, really hard to see. I actually can't see them either. They're absolutely tiny on my screen. That's because the game doesn't seem to scale very well with high-resolution monitors is what I'm finding. So I'm actually running this at, like, I think this is running at 4K. I'm not 100% sure, but it's the only way I could get things to sort of work properly for my my system. It's kind of a pain. I don't really know why it's like that, but it's just sort of the way it is. Anyway, we have this little corridor here, and what I'm thinking about it is we could do a door down there, and we could probably do something like this as well, with sort of a little secure space. And then if we really wanted to, we could actually do more offices down here as well, which honestly, we're probably going to need to do. So let's go ahead and do 6x6 and 6x6, and we'll sort of just extend this down. So that's going to be a little secure way to get out to garbage and all that stuff. In fact, to be totally honest, we could probably just, you know, lay this out a little bit differently, but we'll leave it be for now. Let's just go ahead and lay in the doors. So a door there, a door there, a door there, and a door there. And actually thinking about it with this extension, what we can go ahead and do is have that be our kitchen, have this be our canteen. That way, plenty of space and plenty of space. We are just going to have a holding cell for the time being, but we have a little bit of room up here to expand into some actual cells, so that's fine. And this will hopefully work out. So, in terms of building this, I think I'm going to prioritize on the little bit down here. And then I'm going to say, so we will actually go ahead and prioritize that. And then we'll get this bit built. And then we'll get this bit built. Then all of this. So we'll kind of do it that way. This over here is going to be plain and simple. It's just going to be some brick walls surrounding the yard. And then the entranceway, kind of the same story, just some brick walls, a little bit like this. And we'll get that all situated at some point. Now, my thinking with this, because this is obviously a very, very basic prison, is I'm going to try and use this as a means to actually go ahead and start making money. Because I do want to focus on farming, but I also want to make sure that we're actually able to make money. I want to make sure that we're actually going to be able to do some good stuff here. So let's go ahead and do... Let's just do jail doors for the showers there. For the canteen, is that the middle? I can't really tell. 1, 2, 6 on the left and 7 on the right. Okay, so the middle of the canteen is actually there. So that's where that can go. We can do a little staff door down there. We'll do a staff door down here. And essentially, we're going to do staff doors on all of the offices as well, with a couple of regular jail doors just to secure that part right there, and a regular jail door there as well. And that should keep everything kind of nicely situated. Now, I am absolutely missing common rooms. I am missing staff room as well, so we probably want to look into planning that, because that's going to keep my staff relatively happy. So let's do a staff room maybe down here. Or maybe a little staff room down here. So that is what size? That's 8 by 8. That seems fine. And then I think a staff kitchen and canteen here is probably a good shout. I don't think this needs to be absolutely huge. So that's 6 by 6. Let's do 7 by 7 for a little kitchen in the staff canteen. We'll have a door there, and we'll have a door there, and that'll be beautiful. So we can go ahead and just throw in some more foundations there and there, and that'll be fine. Not too expensive as well, which is lovely news. So that, to me, says we can just go ahead and start throwing in utilities. Now, like I said at the beginning, you do have to pay for solar panels, and that's a little frustrating to me because you do get a free power station. I'm thinking I'm going to take that chance, though. I think we're actually going to pay for it. Now, I am going to say that the... Let's do the water... maybe not up there. I think we'll do water down here. In fact, we should probably just do all the utilities down here, but let's just do the water pumping station. Let's say there is probably a good spot for it. I do really want to do some stuff with these solar panels, though. I really, really do. I think it would be cool to kind of just try and run this thing off of green energy from the get-go. I'm so tempted to just do it and just kind of get on with it because we can export what we're not using as well. I just don't know how much these are necessarily going to generate, and we need batteries too, so I don't know. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. We're gonna place them down. Oh, yeah, we are gonna place them down here because my goal at some point is gonna be to build a prison out here. This is the starter prison, so we're not gonna be expanding this too much further down. So let's get a transformer, and let's put the transformer, I want to say, right there. And let's do solar panels. Let's see, what distance is that from the edge? That is about 3. So 1, 2, 3, so about there. And I'm so tempted to place 2 of these. And I'm gonna place 2 of them. And we're gonna have the power sort of run across like this. We're gonna prioritize those. That now goes into a transformer, which says to me that I can basically just run a power line straight up through here, which is actually a pretty good place for it, I think. And then what we can also do is run a power line like this, straight up through to here, and that should power just about everything, I think. So we'll get that going, and we can also set this up to hopefully start exporting pretty much immediately. So if I go ahead and throw in some batteries here, now these are 500 each, but if I do this, I can essentially surround this thing with batteries, and you know what? We are gonna do that because we're gonna need the backup for power. So we'll get that done. That is, let's see. So production is 150 units. That doesn't seem like much, I gotta be honest. That's not much, but that's fine. The good news is these guys are gonna start charging, and then I guess what we can do is also throw in an export meter. And I guess we could throw it sort of here. So if I do that and get that thing hooked up a little bit. Obviously, these batteries are probably going to take a while to... Oh, you know what I've just realized? I've just realized what I've done. Auto lights need turned off, and I need to dismantle all of these lights. Now, I don't know what I'm selecting there. Kind of difficult to tell what I'm... So light, dismantle... Light, dismantle, light, dismantle. Because I don't want to do auto lights. I do not want to be doing auto lights at all. So you dismantle, and you dismantle. There we go. So we'll get those out of there, and I'll place in the lights myself. Same with down here. You're going. You're getting canceled, and I think that one got canceled as well, which is probably for the best. So that's going to be fine. No worries there whatsoever. I somehow doubt these guys are going to be charging at all right now, given it's nighttime. Do I have wind turbines? No, I don't have wind turbines. That's fine. Now, there are ways to unlock those. If I think I'd go to grants and go to here. So goal 1 is 3 solar panels, and I get wind turbines. I mean, that seems like a pretty good way to do things. So sure, let's put another solar panel in there, and let's connect you to that. So excess power is hopefully gonna... All right, so that should get me wind turbines, I think. Am I right on that? Yeah, there we go. So wind turbines. $2,000 for it. That's expensive, but so tempting. It is so tempting to put some wind turbines in here, but we'll just kind of leave this be for now. We do have all of this getting built, though, so let's start putting in some walls, and let's start figuring out how this is all going to look. So, I was going to pause while I do this, but I'm not going to bother. Let's start doing this wall right up to there. And let's start doing this right here as well. Just so we can go ahead and actually start putting these offices in here. So that we can go ahead and start getting some of the grants done. So that's looking pretty good to me. We can go ahead and throw the doors in too. So, doors right here. Staff door there. And there. And I think well, we already have a door up there, so we don't need to go too crazy with that. Staff door there. And then this is a kitchen, so that's going to have... Oh, it's already got the door on there. Fantastic. Okay. Well, that's all situated. So I guess what we can do is go to rooms and go to office. And that's going to be an office, and so is that. So are you, and so are you. This out here is going to be a yard. This up here, I hope I can lay this out without having to, Oh, it has to be inside, doesn't it? Okay, so we can't do that right now. That's fine. In terms of receptions, though, that's what this space is going to be. And then this down here is going to be a canteen. It's going to be a staff canteen, though, so we're going to have to specify that. And then this in here is going to be a little kitchen. And then this in here is going to be a little staff room. So ST right there and staff room right there. So that'll hopefully keep them all relatively happy. And all this construction's going along pretty nicely as well, so no complaints there. We've got staff meals coming in, we got food trays coming in, we got all that good stuff. I think this will work out, though. Let's go ahead and prioritize, let's prioritize some of this work just to try and get all of this done. So there we go. We got the walls going in, got the offices being worked on, and I should probably look at my... What the hell? Hold on, can I... So power export meters must be wired up to a transformer with attached batteries to operate correctly. Okay, so that is done. Green energy must flow via the direction following the arrow mark to display. So that is flowing into there. And similar to capacitors and power stations, battery objects can only be placed adjacent to transformers. Yeah. Okay. So we know that. I think we're just kind of waiting for daytime in a minute. But let's go ahead and get ourselves some offices and get them working. So, office chair there and there. We'll get ourselves, let's see, where are the office desks? Right here. So there and there. And then the filing cabinet can just go back in the corners there. And in terms of lights, I think we'll just go for a nice, plain and simple light kind of over the good old chair there. For the staff room, we'll do a couple of lights like that. For the canteen, we'll do a couple of lights like this. And that'll keep the place nice and bright. For the kitchen, one right in the middle. And for the reception, we'll kind of just go for the corners right there. And for the entranceway, we'll do a couple of lights a bit like this, just to keep it nice and bright. So that'll be pretty good there. This kitchen is going to need a good number of lights like so. The cafeteria or canteen is going to need a good number of lights. I think we can do the middle of that as well. So we'll just kind of dot lights around like that. This hallway is probably going to need a good number of lights as well. And then the showers are going to need a few lights, as well as the holding cell needing a good number of lights. And also probably the good old yard out here as well can have a few lights. So let's go ahead and just get all of this done. We'll just prioritize everything because that obviously works every single time. We got this done. This is about to be done. And then the yard is about to be done as well. So that's fantastic. Let's start putting in some walls. And we're so close to being able to start bringing people in. So a nice wall across there and across there and across here. And then the same up here as well. So a wall right there. So that's pretty good. We can go ahead and start putting in some rooms. So holding cell is that space, which it'll be surrounded shortly. Shower is that space. Canteen is that space. Kitchen down here. Yard's already done, and then the rest of it is pretty good as well. So that will get us situated once the walls go in. And also, lights are going in, so that means power's working. That's kind of fantastic. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a good old warden then. So warden is going to go here, which is fantastic. We can go into bureaucracy and get me some finance and get that going. What is micromanagement? Gives me the tools to micromanage aspects of my prison. Unlocks food logistics. Unlocks deployment scheduler. Oh, we are going to need that. We're also going to need we do actually need that reform programs as well. So that's going to be kind of very important right there. Now, let me just, well, you know what? Yeah, just prioritize everything. There's no point in prioritizing everything, but we'll prioritize everything. Let's see. So this is, in theory, going to be able to charge up some of these batteries. I'm curious to see if we're going to end up with enough power to actually power the prison overnight. Also, I totally forgot about the fact that this does, in fact, need need some power. So we'll get that going as well. That's going to take a bit of electricity, too. Now, all the lights are in, which is lovely. These offices don't have any, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and start laying out the various items that we're going to need in these rooms. Also, yeah, we are actually going to need deployment to say that this is going to be a staff-only area, so that's kind of important. Objects-wise, though, we'll get ourselves... let's see here. What size is the sink? So the sink can go there. We can get a cooker, I want to say, here. We'll get a fridge next to it, and I think that's all we're going to have for the staff canteen. Serving table can go, I want to say, there, I guess. And we should probably put some recycling bins in here, too. But we'll go around the entire prison and do that shortly. Tables-wise, I think there, and there, as well as there and there, with a few benches, and that'll keep the staff nice and happy for their canteen. And we'll essentially do the same thing up here. We'll set this all up nicely, too. So we're gonna need to get ourselves a nice couple of serving tables, and I do think I want 2 of them, because it always seems like we need them. Tables will go there and... maybe not like that. Let's see what we can do. Let's go here, 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 and here. And I guess we can essentially kind of just duplicate that. So we'll just have this really weird layout for the main canteen there, but that'll give, you know, plenty of space for a good number of prisoners to sit down, which I think is probably for the best. Could have put some small tables in there, but I'm not too worried about it. Holding cell wise, we are probably gonna want to do bunk beds. Thinking about it, just to get as many people in here as possible, but that is gonna annoy them. Thinking about it too. So let's change this up a little bit. Actually, you know what? No, I was gonna put a wall in there to kind of block the toilets, but the prisoners don't care. So we'll just do 3 toilets, and then we'll just do a small bench next to them. We'll just do that. There we go. That's fine. And I think in terms of beds, they do like them. So let's just do some bunk beds. Let's just go 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that'll keep them relatively happy, I think. So that'll be our holding cell. The showers are going to be nice and simple. Just something like this and something like this. A couple of shower heads up there too. And that'll be fine. We are going to need some drains by the doors just to make sure that the water doesn't get into the holding cell or the hallway. And then reception needs a desk, table, and chair. So we'll do a nice office desk there with a nice chair behind it. And I think a nice... can I do a small table in here? I think I can. So let's do a nice couple of tables like this. We'll just do something like that for the reception. A little bit of a weird layout, but I kind of like it. Also, apparently it doesn't have power right now. Oh, it doesn't have power right now. Okay. Let's get those installed just to give the entire space power. And you know what? Let me just really quickly clone everything in here, and we'll just go ahead and put the furniture in these 2 offices as well, just to get that out of the way, so that we don't need to do that later. But this seems like a decent little start, to be completely honest. This seems like a decent little start. We can also go ahead and start putting in piping for everything, because we're going to need pipes here, and we're going to need pipes here, and we're going to need pipes in this kitchen as well. So let's figure out what we're going to do with that. I reckon the best thing we do is bring some large pipes over like this, sort of just through the entire prison. So we'll kind of go like that, I think. And I think that'll be fine. I think we can make that work. So we'll get those all installed. We also need to hire an accountant now, which will get us, so you can go in there. That got us $5,000, which is lovely. And this kitchen also needs done as well. So let's see. Let's do a sink there. Let's do, I want to say 2 cookers. Let's do probably 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 49 50 51 52 53 54 55 56 57 58 59 60 61 62 63 64 65 66 67 68 69 70 71 72 73 74 75 76 77 78 79 80 81 82 83 84 85 86 87 88 89 90 91 92 93 94 95 96 97 98 99 100 101 102 103 104 105 106 107 108 109 110 111 112 113 114 115 116 117 118 119 120 121 122 123 124 125 126 127 128 129 130 131 132 133 134 135 136 137 138 139 140 141 142 143 144 145 146 147 148 149 150 151 152 153 154 155 2 fridges. And that'll be fine for that kitchen. That's not a huge deal. Now, what I do really want are these recycling bins. I absolutely want these recycling bins. I want them kind of everywhere. So we'll go there. We can go and do some recycling bins over... I don't know where we can put them, to be completely honest. We'll do probably something out in the yard eventually, but we'll just do it that way for the time being. We have one down there that'll hopefully work for us. Isn't it a policy thing that I need to do, though? I honestly can't remember, to be totally honest. Regime is that right now. Now that I can change, can't I? I think, yeah, I can totally change that. So let me just, let's pause for a second. Let's do let's do shower time in the mornings. Then let's do eat time like that. So they can sleep from, so they sleep at 11, so 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then they wake up at 8. I think they could probably wake up a little bit earlier. So they can wake up there. So they shower, then they eat, and then they can just have work and free time for, we could probably just cut that back a little bit. So work and free time there. And then they can eat for 2 hours, and then they go back to work / free time up until, you know what, that's probably fine. Do we need them to eat during the day? I feel like just free time during the day might be better. And then we'll do, after work is going to be eat time, and then I reckon we say yard time followed by free time. And I think that'll be fine. So that's going to be what we're doing there. Now, I'm trying to remember if if there's a thing we have to do to unlock recycling, and I want to say there is, and for the life of me cannot remember. Recycling incentive right there. Takes advantage of the government's Going Green initiative, awarding your prison daily with $10 for each bag of, recycling that's collected. So we need tax relief before we can actually get that, which is slightly annoying. Let's get that extra grant, though, because that seems like a good idea. Tax relief is reduce my effective corporation tax to just 15%. I will say $1,500 taxes per 10,000 of daily profit. That seems like a good idea, but we don't need it right now. Maintenance seems like something we would need because we do want to get into prison labor. And then security is probably honestly, we kind of probably just need to get into all of these. So we'll start researching all of those as soon as we possibly can. But, you know, I like to think we're in a pretty good way right now. We got the pipes going in. We got the holding cell here, which is technically functional. We need 2 guards and 2 cooks. So let's go ahead and say 1, 2, and 1, 2. That gets us $10,000, which is lovely. So now we can go and look at more grants, and we can say cell block A, prisoner capacity of 15. That'll give us $20,000 up front, which sounds amazing. Prison maintenance is going to give me $10,000 up front and $5,000 after. Visitation is something we probably want as well. So I reckon what we do is cell block A for that $20,000 up front. And I reckon we go for... I think we can do eco-friendly, but I don't know if it's the time to do it. Actually, it probably is, because we are researching the whole, what was it? 3 grants at any one time. So if we have a look at bureaucracy, yeah, we can take an extra grant in a couple of minutes. So no problems there. Why are the pipes not entirely connected? Why are you guys not getting water? Does this have to run underneath that thing, or have I done something wrong? I am not entirely sure what's going on with those pipes. That's a little bit weird. Oh, this thing doesn't have wait, this thing is not getting power? Oh, I know why. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay. So dismantle you guys. So dismantle all of those, please. And then what we need to do is bring power this way. So I forgot it has to go through a transformer first. Oh, that got me. That got me for a second there, but we're all right. Let's go ahead and hook everything else up then. So we need you connected to there. We need you guys connected to there. You guys actually do have power. Nothing else needs a direct connection, except you are going to need that, and you are going to need that. So let's prioritize all of that to get everything actually up and running. And then that'll hopefully put us in a pretty good way. Now, I'm really hoping that we are actually going to have enough power generation to... you know what I've just realized? It would have probably made a bit more sense to bring this cable this way. So I'm actually going to do that. And we're going to dismantle this right here. Reason being that I probably want to expand my green power generation. So I'm probably going to want to put, let's see, make sure electrical cable's there, which it is. I'm going to want to put solar panels, or sorry, wind turbines down here. So let's do that. $10,000 for those wind turbines, but they will generate power all the time rather than just overnight. And also, solar wind hybrid has been unlocked, which is this thing right here, which is a pretty good size. I actually really enjoy the look of it too. But here's the thing. If I place that, isn't that going to... Let me see here. Overproduction, no. Basic farming, no. Green machine. That'll get me 5,000. So if I place the solar wind hybrid, it's going to give me some money if I take this grant. So, I mean, I guess we place it. A little bit of free money. Doesn't seem like a bad idea. So we'll take that and then just throw this thing, I guess, out here. And then that'll complete the grant once it's built and we'll be sorted. So let's make sure these guys, I think these guys are all connected together, which is lovely. I think. Pretty sure they're actually connected. But there we go. So that grant is now done. This guy is flowing in there, so that's fantastic. Now what we can do, essentially, is grab a third grant for some good money. Prison maintenance is probably the one I'm thinking would be best. And let's have a look at bureaucracy. So, maintenance is being researched, which is fantastic. I feel like we could probably look into tax relief. We have got the money for it, and then straight into recycling incentive. So that's good. This is a good little start. We have room for, what is that, 8 prisoners with the bunk beds. So let's go to intake. Let's go to here. Let's go to 14. Why would we have 14? Can I just bring in 8 to start with? I think 8 seems like a pretty good good layout there. And then deployment. That complicates things a little bit. Why do we not have deployment? How do I get... it's through security. Right. Okay. That ever so slightly messes things up, but we will manage. Let's just go ahead and get ourselves a couple of things into the staff room, and then we are pretty much situated to bring people in. So I reckon a nice couple of wide sofas, a nice drinks machine there, probably a nice couple of arcade cabinets there, and a nice pool table right there should make that a pretty good staff room for everybody. So that'll keep them in a good way. So maintenance has been got. Groundskeeping and cleaning are going to be things that we need. Prison labor and farming are also going to be things that we need. So we're essentially going to make a beeline straight for prison labor and farming and all that good stuff, which also means we need a foreman. So you can work in there is what you can do. And interestingly, hold on a minute. So farming, unlock advanced farming techniques and equipment along with more expensive crops. Hold on, I don't need to research it. Is that... Oh, no, I don't need to research. Oh. Okay. So essentially, we could go straight in for fruit orchards and things like that right off the bat. Okay, this might not end up being a temporary section of the prison. We might end up expanding up this way with a bunch of cells and then do a bunch of farming down here, then eventually come down this way to build up a whole bunch of stuff. That seems like a pretty good way to go. I gotta be honest. That seems like a pretty good way to go.